tips can you give people who want to do this full time?
I would just say get some discipline like right off the bat. And you know, obviously get the tools you need, get a camera, you can get them for very inexpensive, get the sound equipment you need. You don't have to go too crazy, just get the minimum stuff you need, and then just start setting up a schedule. Okay, we're going to release every week or every 2 weeks, whatever you can handle, and just start making stuff. Just have that schedule in mind so you know when you have to have something written. Get your friends to help you if you have even friends of friends that know anything about the film or writing or anything. Get them all involved. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
You know, we did it all of ourselves and with friends. So I would say that's key.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the most hilarious things online are shot so simply. It's not extravagant or anything like that. Also, I mean, in the space we're in, from what I've seen, comedy is one of the biggest things that trumps online. And in comedy, you can forgive some technical mistakes, you know? Like, it really is what you're watching, the content, the story that trumps all. You're like, that's hilarious, okay, whatever.
Also, what about the writing, right? Story is key.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to write stuff, like take a class or meet up with someone that you know has experience in writing, because it's really important to like just know, you don't have to be so structured about it, but just to understand how to heighten sketch writing, you know, just different little things, even reading a book.
Yeah, I mean, because we're in LA, so it's pretty easy. You're like, oh, go to sketch writing class, but I'm sure there are books out there on writing sketch
or online classes.
Yeah, exactly. YouTube tutorials. I'm sure there's a tutorial on there somewhere.
What is the workflow like between the three of you?
Well, it's...
You don't see the other third person.
Yeah, he's invisible.
Well, the third is Jason. He's a producer, director, editor. And basically, we all get together. We go nuts for hours workshopping, trying to come up with ideas. And then we pick ones we all laugh about and love. And we outline them. And then it goes over to Lindsay. And Lindsay writes.
You write everything?
I write everything.
You're an amazing writer.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you write for your voice, but then also... For the male characters, they're such strong characters.
I swear,
I'm also like, Eric always calls me a dude in a model's body.
It's true,
because it's just, I don't know why I've been able to understand the male point of view so well, and it's really funny to me.
It's great. Well, then her and I kind of work together on the production because I'm the main producer. I set up all the shoots, I do the casting and locations and crew and all of that. So I set it up. And then we all show up. We're all there for every single shoot. And then Jason's the director. So then it's kind of handed over to him.
Even the director of photography, he does all that.
So he runs the project and makes sure it gets shot and we get everything we need. And then it's over to him and he edits it and we all make sure that the edit is where it needs to be. And then it goes on to YouTube, and that's kind of like the workflow of it. Is it's like it starts, then goes through me, then goes through Jason, and we're all of our hands are in on every aspect of it. Like you know, Lindsay writes with and comes to us with questions, and I produce and I go to them with questions, and Jason directs and edits with us in mind as well. So it really is everyone's hands are in everything.
Yeah, it's worked really well. Like we just work so well together. Like our minds work. We're all different, but we're really similar too. Like we always find we have different viewpoints, which is great because it'll go weird places, but we don't disagree in a way where it's like, what are you talking about, you know?
Do you shoot weekly?
We've tried to become a little bit smarter because when we had full-time jobs, we were killing ourselves. It was like, guys, I've met with you every night for 7 days and we're shooting. We have to figure out another way so we can have a little break so I don't have to see your face every day. So we figured out, we're like, okay, well, let's try and do, this sounds crazy, but let's try and do more production in a weekend. Like maybe take our Saturday and Sunday, which are our only days off, and do like 12 hours of shooting each day, and then we have lots of content, and then maybe we can take a weekend off. So we started moving things around like that and stockpiling things and shooting in groups. Like we've done some arcs recently with like Online Gamer.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision also, to do those storylines where you need to see the next video next week to see what happens next. What was the decision around that?
I mean, it was the ease of shooting because we can go, oh, if we write 4 at once, shoot 4 at once, then, you know, and then it saves us time, and we'll have that cliffhanger where people will want to be like, what happens next? And it won't just be a one-off that leads into another one-off. So it was two different things.
It adds a little bit of ease to all of our jobs.
Yeah.
Like Lindsay can thinks it's way easier to write 16 pages than to write 4 pages, and then next week figure out how am I going to make those 4 pages go with the last 4 pages I wrote, you know? And then producing, that means awesome. I know everything we need. And then I just think it's easier for every single person to have a group and work like on a group of videos as opposed to one.
And then it makes it into, you know, the time of a show, a TV show, if you think about it, right? Well, yeah, because 4 videos, 5 minutes each, and you have a TV show if you put it all together.
In essence, yeah.
Yeah, that was when we did Epic Theater, something we did recently. We were like, oh my god, we have like a pilot. We have an actual TV episode. When you put it all together, it ended up being 22 minutes. And we were like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. You probably spent less than a pilot that TV.
Yeah, it took us 3 days.
I think that we
writing it, and it took longer, but
our budget was probably what they spent on porta potties.
Yeah.
What advice can you give writers, because you're so talented in that domain?
Well, I would just say study a little bit. I mean, I just took 2 sketch writing classes at Upright Citizens Brigade, and I loved the class, and I learned a ton from it. And then also, once you start writing, just start looking through what you've written for how you can get better. And that's what I've done, is see, okay, through the videos, okay, that wasn't as popular, why? How could I write something better? Why was the ending not hitting here? I need to make sure I have these great endings. So it's definitely getting some technical skills so that you feel confident in what you're doing. And then from that point on, just critiquing yourself and, you know, looking at others' reactions to it, like even when they're reading the script, when they're laughing, or a lot of times I also find when actors aren't acting well in a scene, sometimes it's actually the writing is a little bit unnatural. Yeah. So noticing that, like when I'm like, why is this person who I know is good saying these lines so awkwardly? Maybe it's actually that I wrote it in a way that's not natural. Mm-hmm. So that's been something that's been interesting to discover.